And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the KungFu Cup 2024 WTL Summer Round number 4. I'm, of course, host ZvP, and with me, I'm joined by the amazing people in the chat and these incredible players as well! Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is massive. It's stacked. You got players from all around the world, from Europe, from Korea, from Southeast Asia, from everywhere you can imagine, and they're all drinking it out here in the KungFu Cup. As always, the best of the best, and here we go. We have our first series, we have our first matchup spawning in the top right-hand corner. In the top right-hand corner of Crimson Court, we have our South Korean Zerg player. The blue Zerg representing Gaimin Gladiators, it is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the returning ex-military Protoss, the Red Protoss, representing himself, currently teamless, but making a splash in the scene in his return. It is Trap. Let us go again. Trap alongside Rogue have returned as of the past, I want to say, month now. I think it's been around a month since their return, and they have been taking down some big names as of late. Trap has been popping up in PvT. He's been bringing down players like Beyond, for example, taking Dark to the ace match as well. Really impressive stuff. When it comes to taking Dark to the ace match, I believe that was during ESL Open Cup Asia. I believe we missed it on cams. It happened off stream. It happened elsewhere in the bracket at the time. So I'm really curious to see Trap's Protoss versus Zerg, because honestly, I haven't seen much of it. I've seen Trap against Protoss in PvP. I've seen him against Terran, but I want to see him against Zerg, because that has been something that I have been missing out on. So it's great to see our returning military player doing quite well here. I would still favor SHIN, especially as of late. If you've been watching the channel, we've become like a fan SHIN channel this week. We casted him on Monday and Tuesday so far, every weekday, now Wednesday as well. Every day of the week we got some SHIN content. It was on Monday, of course, when we saw SHIN take down Classic in the finals of ESL Asia. It was Tuesday where SHIN took down Nightmare in the best of 7 show match in the Club NVX Ducklings show match, and now he's here against Trap. So again, we've been seeing a lot of SHIN versus Protoss, and we've been seeing a lot of shenanigans as well. Speaking of shenanigans, we are taking the forward base. We're going for the gas. Now, with this forward base being taken, this usually leads into an all-in. We prioritize this gas mining. It leads into roaches, into a queen walk across the map, maybe a drop lord based all-in. Aggression is going to be on the horizon here for SHIN. But before we talk about SHIN, we have a Twilight Council. It's going to be a Twilight Council. Everybody, we pull out a gas, Glaives. It looks like this screams Glaive Adepts, 4-gate Glaive Adepts here from Trap. He's going to be the aggressor initially. The scary thing is that if Trap doesn't do enough damage with 4-gate Glaive Adepts, then this counterattack with the help of this base, with the help of this resisting gas geyser, is going to hit like a truck. It's going to hit very hard. Gateways are being thrown down. There's that Glaives that we spoke about, so Trap is getting to his build. Meanwhile, the initial Adepts are going to be threatening a dive here into the main base. Lings are chasing them down, and they're going to be able to keep up. We do head into the natural, though. Ooh, good reaction out of SHIN. Oh, no! He walls up, but one drone will go down. We do force the recall. Trap not losing anything here, and he will preserve those Adepts. Very important here that he does preserve them in preparation for the eventual counterattack. And also, my apologies, we're doubling down. What I mean by that, I assumed that this was going to be 4-gate Glaive Adepts. We have 4 gates in production and 1 gate already done. This is 5-gate Glaive Adepts. This is a bit of a more aggressive variation, something we don't see too often. So I'm intrigued. Typically we would go for, like, in pairs of 2, like 4-gate, 6-gate, or 8-gate. 5 again is something that I haven't seen in quite some time. I'm curious how this works. I think the last time I saw this was Zest, but to be fair, this was back when Trap, before he go into the military. Zest was playing around with 5 gates at times, but it looks like we are going to be not quite expanding behind this. Again, we're going to be committing. We're moving out across the map. We have 7 Adepts for now. We're soon to have more. Meanwhile, speaking of the Rich Vesting Gas Geyser, it's being mined from. It's being mined from immediately here for SHIN. Trap going to be reinforcing. Overlord Scout did confirm the gateways, did confirm the Twilight Council, did see it researching as well. SHIN is fully aware of what's going on. He's throwing down some safety spine crawlers as well. We have a spine here at the natural, spine at the third. We're trying to buy some time. We don't quite engage. The Queen's back off. We don't commit to the shade. But we're going for that third base, going for another big warp in behind this. 5 items at a time. The Prism! No, the Prism is under fire, and the Prism, it looks like it will get away. Whew. Just barely did take a lot of hits. And 2 drones went down. The Queens! We snipe the Prism, it does fall. We commit to the shade, but we have Ravagers, we have Lings across the map. The Ravager almost gets focused down. Good Bile. And we're locking down the army. The Biles! Ooh, they don't quite connect. A bit of friendly fire there. The Adepts did slip away, but they're being shut down. They're being shut down. We shaded to the mineral line. We get maybe 1 more drone. Yeah, 4 workers in total. But SHIN will clean this up. He's going to be losing 2 drones in total in the main. But we've held into the third base. We shut down the Prism. We still have that Rich Pressing Gas Geyser. And again, we're going to be getting ready for that counterattack. Speaking of, though, Trap, he does rock up immediately. He gets surrounded. And this time the Biles, they will connect. Ooh, big connections there. Prism has been remade. We have an Immortal on the way behind this for Trap. Reinforcing as best he can. Here comes that counterattack that we spoke about, by the way. We do have a wall, but that's what the Ravagers are for. At the same time, Trap is getting ready for his own counterattack as well. Trying to harass. Going for these rich mining minerals. Gas even. But we bust in! Oh, the army just bust in. We managed to get the Stalker. We get the Adepts. We're going for the Immortal. Immortal is going to be surrounded with this Warp in. We should be able to hold on, though. And the Immortal will slip away. Just barely. Meanwhile, across the map, we did focus on a couple of drones, but ooh, we have resaturated. Yeah, and SHIN is looking to knock down this door. Will bleed out a Ravager. Big pickup. The Ravagers themselves very exposed. Very important here, but here we go. Reinforcements have arrived. Once again, we should be going for that Immortal. We come in for this around. The Immortal does get targeted. We do have the shield battery, though, the overcharge, for only a couple of seconds. I mean, we do have a second Immortal coming in. Ravagers are being focused down. Trap, he is barely holding on. No, he commits to the shade. He shades across the map. The Immortal is exposed. And we get another surround. I mean, sure, the Adepts are going to be able to threaten that mineral line, but not ideal here, as it did cost us the Immortal. We get 5 drones, good pickoffs. Very nice target firing out of Trap. He does hold on, back at home. Does manage to hold on. SHIN backs off. SHIN is on 40 workers, by the way. SHIN has not been droning. He's doubling down. He has to break his opponent. Meanwhile, we have a Dark Shrine on the way. Do we have a lair? It just starts. Uh-oh. The lair just begins. We don't have any spores either. 0 detection. Trap, he's held on long enough. And now with these DTs, can he take this? I mean, he can. There's potential here. They're waddling across the map. Dark Templar waddling across the map. SHIN has still not droned, by the way. No safety spores. SHIN is on 39 workers. We do have that lair halfway done, and he is coming in for a second all-in. DTs were spotted. Ooh, big scout. Big reaction there by SHIN. He does notice the Dark Templar. Spores on the way, but DT arrives. Drones are going down. And at the same time, we have a defensive DT back at home. Ooh, we shut down the shield battery. We collapse on the main army. We depower the gateways. That one DT, though, takes out a Ravager. And we're holding. Snap the Cybercore. Across the map. Ooh, DT still wreaking havoc. 6 drones go down. Lair is done. Overseer's on the way. SHIN is returning, racing back home. Up! Ooh, he races back home. Does catch a couple of DTs. Losing 5 workers in total. Ooh, 27 all up. I say 5 workers in total. It's been building up here. SHIN is down to 26 drones. Like, he doesn't have an economy anymore. And he's still refusing to make any more workers, by the way. SHIN is still 100% all in. He has a massive army. He's going for the kill. And this time, he has detection. He has the Overseer. Trying to catch up. More DTs coming for a counterattack. We do have some spores, but they're a little bit exposed. And we're going for the kill. Lee's going for the third base. We need more than just a third, though. We need more than the third base. Cybercore's rebuilt. Ravager. Oh, do we get one? Not quite. Whew. Ravagers, they barely hold on. Gateways are going down. Lings are amassing. We're just waiting for the opportune moment to dive on the army. And we're going in. The Ravagers, 2 of them do go down, but the Lings, they collapse on the rest of the army here. And there's no shield battery. There's no overcharge. It looks like we have done it. We have detection. This time DTs are not going to be enough. We try to recall back home. I believe those are the Dark Templar. Yeah, now an Archon. But Shin, he overwhelms Trap. Snowballing out of control. We're down to 2 Archons, down to 1. And the juggling here is good. But there's only so much it can do. I mean, again, we do pick off almost every single Ravager. Oh my god, the juggling, papi. Juggling is insane. We take down the final Ravager. But we have crippled the economy. Oh my god. As Trap, he's going to be able to clean up more of these Lings. And he will hold. Again, with the power. Give Trap 1 Prism and 1 Archon, and he can defend against an army of Ling Ravager. He does barely hold on. He's on 22 probes. But Shin is now droning. Finally, after killing the 3rd base, after crippling the natural, he says, you know what? It's time to drone. So we're going to be saturating our bases. We can see Trap trying to take his 3rd base. Do we stabilize from here? I mean, honestly, as we do get the contamination on the robo, love to see it. But honestly, from this point onward, things can stabilize. Shin does have the advantage of the larva and the tech with the lair. Now with the soon-to-be speed on the Roches. Cybercore snipes, but we have to wait for it to rebuild the Cybercore. Who do I favor here? I mean, Trap has potential with these Archons. How many queens do we have? 2. Uh-oh. Only 2 queens. And with that, we can bully these queens back. The queen is going to fall. Clutch transfuse. Very clutch transfuse there. Whew. Queen did go down. But the prism is stripped from its shields. Duke and Overlord. Spores moving forward. You can see Shin attempting to reposition, but again, like, War Prism harass like this has a lot of potential. Without queens, there's nothing to stop it. That's why I pointed at the queen count earlier. We at least have a spore in the main, thankfully. There's that spore. We do manage to get, oh, a good chunk of drones. 4 drones go down. Almost losing the Archon. Oh. Ambitious Biles. Meanwhile, Shinny's drone up to 31. That's an okay drone count. That's like just under 2 base saturation. Oh, speaking of it, bleeding out even more drones. But it looks like Shin is preparing for another all-in. I mean, it's Shin. Like, he's hyper-aggressive here. He always has been. And here we go. We're going for, I say a second all-in. Is this like the 3rd or the 4th wave? I want to say 3rd wave. 4th wave. Let's go. No shield batteries. We have detection. Ooh, okay, we do. We do have an Overseer coming in from behind. A DT putting in some work. But we can deal with it. Shield battery not quite done here. Baal's going to be connecting as well. And we have too much. We have the Prism, though. But Shinny breaks the 3rd base for a 2nd time. You can see the juggling here by Trap. But now against this much Roach Ravager, it's not that easy. It's not that simple. Yeah, and it looks like Shin has finally done it after 13 minutes. It hasn't been that long, but it's been a pretty intense game here. Very intense. Props to Trap as he bleeds out an Archon. It was impressive that he was able to hold on for this long, but GG gets called and Shin takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played again. That was a very wild game, very back and forth. As a reminder, it all started, I mean, kind of started, with Trap going for his 5-gate Glaive Adept. We had 5-gate Glaive Adept there out of Trap. He was very committed, very committed with his early aggression. And if you remember, he got surrounded. His adepts got surrounded, not just that, but his War Prism got sniped. We had some really slick moves out of Shin to try to bypass the ground army to slip in from a flank, and he was able to snipe that. Oh, was able to, there we go. I think we're all good. Okay. We're just making sure that we didn't leave anyone behind. But yeah, he was able to flank and snipe that Prism at the very start of the push, which was massive, by the way, for that Prism to go down. Then the adepts got surrounded, and then, I mean, Shin, he had a really strong cleanup there. We spoke about it, right? That if Trap failed to do damage, he would be vulnerable to a big counterattack thanks to that Reach-Resting Gas Geyser. Shin, of course, took advantage of that, moved out, and it was an uphill battle for Trap. I mean, a battle he almost won. Like, he almost did hold and almost minimize his losses, but almost is not good enough. And here we go. We're getting into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. In the bottom left-hand corner of Amphion. My apologies, as just came to my attention that I did not turn on my webcam, so I do apologize. I'm back. So I do apologize for not having my cam on. Do apologize. Just in a bit of a rush here today. But in the bottom left-hand corner, we have our South Korean Zerg player, the blue Zerg, representing Gaimin Gladiators. It is SHIN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player representing himself, currently teamless, the returning ex-military Protoss. It is Trap. Guy with no cam, but he's embarrassed about wearing pants, Bobby. No pants here. You're an animal. You're an animal. Oh. As we are settling in once again, and honestly, that was a great game 1 here from SHIN. I mean, for his initial defense, the all-ins were risky, but SHIN, he knew that he was ahead. He knew that he was in a position where he could cut workers and go all in, which is why it was impressive that Trap held on for as long as he did. Things are looking dire for SHIN, especially with the DT counterattack, right? The Dark Templar were a very smart move there by Trap. There was no detection. Drones were going down. If you remember, there was a time where Trap had almost doubled the drone count or the worker count of SHIN because of how many workers had fallen, but it still was not enough. Still was not enough in the end, and now we're settling into game 2. One more win, and SHIN will take it. One more loss, and Trap is out of the tournament. Oh boy. As a reminder as well, the winner of this series does have an opponent ready and waiting. We can delve into that once we wrap up this initial series. Can later dive into that. As we do see, SHIN forced to take the unnatural. Natural is to have a pro block here at the natural base, which again is more of a norm at this point. Is a little more commonplace, a little more meta. Usually it's a little bit rarer to see a Zerg player actually expand on location, depending on the map, I guess, depending on said map. Ooh, as Trap is going to be deviating quite heavily here, going for a Stargate opener instead. Something a little more standard, something a little more macro-oriented. It makes sense on Amphion. Your third base is a little more secure, whether it's the linear third or the triangular third. It is a little more secure here, a lot easier to defend. So we're setting up for a longer game. Meanwhile, pylon block is denied. We do throw down that hatchery. Third base is on the way. Adept going to be threatening a shade in between the bases, but we should be able to defend the drones. Ooh. We commit to the shade. We go for the workers. We get one drone at the natural. Good Pigos as we rotate around. We're going for that drone. And he does get it. 2 drones go down. This is actually some pretty big Pig-offs here. Trap will lose the Adept, but that was worth it. Killing 2 drones that early on. Looks like SHIN was a little bit distracted himself by slipping into the main. SHIN does get eyes on the Oracle. And oh, he gets a probe. Nice moves out of SHIN. Tit for tat here. He gets 2 probes, so we get 2 for 2. 2 drones for 2 probes. Good recovery here by SHIN. Good recovery there as the Oracle is moving out across the map. And we'll see if SHIN can keep up. We have a Spore and a Queen in the main base. We have 2 Queens at the natural. We could maybe catch some transferring workers in between the bases. We have potential here as the Oracle does head for that natural base. There is no Spore. We have our Queens. We get 1 drone. We get 2. We get a 3rd worker as well, but did we overextend as we take a lot of hits at the same time? Looks like 1 more probe did fall across the map. The Oracle will escape just barely. So far, so good. 3 drones. Good damage dealt here by Trap. Escapes with the Oracle, can regenerate those shields. Oh no! Oh my, calm down. As we fly a little bit too close to the sun there, the Oracle down to 6 HP is going to have to retreat, and the second Oracle does rock up instead. The Natural's exposed. We get 1, we get 2 drones for free. Adepts a shade into the 3rd base. Getting up to 5, 6 drones. This is becoming too much. This is critical damage. 7 drones. 8 workers go down. Ay. Earlier SHIN was able to recover, but this is a little bit brutal here. 13 workers going down in total. This is a phenomenal start here for Trap. Settling into his 3-base economy, getting into his Twilight Council, into his Forge, into his upgrades. SHIN is hurting. And we're not done. Yeah, we ignore the queens. We go in for a drive-by. We get another 3 drones here at the natural. Did I say 3? We get 4. Up. We barely get 5. We get 6. And every Oracle survives. Oh my god, I almost spoke too soon. But yes, every Oracle does survive. We're going to be pinned here behind the bases for now. Ling run by, gets shut down. We're just waiting for the shields to regenerate here, and then we can escape. We can get away. We can even recall if things are looking a little bit dire. Trap moving out once again with a counterattack with some adepts, working towards that blink +1 follow-up. And because Shin has lost so many drones, I would not be surprised if he decides to cut workers at 3 bases. I'm talking about like around 66, maybe even less drones. But 3 base all-ins are difficult to pull off on this map as we pull the boys and we get even more drone damage. 4 more drones go down. Oh my god. This is becoming game-ending. This is becoming far too much here. It's been 24 workers, almost 2 full mineral lines of drones have gone down already. The wing commander, he's back. Let's go. And every Oracle survived as well. They're on very low HP, but they all made it out. They all survived. Shin is hurting. Again, I would not be surprised if he does cut drones at some point, but he's not really set up for an all-in. We have the lair. We're going to need roach speed. Our tech is just so far behind. Our economy is so far behind. We can't actually afford too much of an all-in at the moment. Not yet. Ooh, and Trap. It will actually be a really smart move here to go for an 8-gate. No gases, by the way. We have how many gateways in total? 4, 5, 6. We have 6 gateways. Going to be 7 here proxied across the map. This is turning into a 3-base hold-in from Trap. This makes a lot of sense. Basically, Shin is crippled. Shin's economy is crippled. He's still struggling to stand back up. And for Trap to respond with his own 3-base all-in will kill Shin before he can ever recover, ever stabilize. And there's that proxy gateway. There we go. I assumed it was going to be 8 gateways. It's going to be 9 gates here for Trap. He's completely all in on 3 bases. And he's going in for the kill. Yeah, we catch out the queens. The roaches, they can barely keep up. We do focus down one of those oracles. And we're going to be able to force back the army for now, but we have a massive wave of reinforcements behind this. And Shin, he's up against the wall. So again, just a really calculated follow-up here by Trap, knowing he's ahead, so we just go for the kill. The roaches are going down, not enough wings. Ravagers do more fin, but we just dive on the Ravagers. GG gets called, and Trap will tie up the series 1-1. We're going to the ace match. GG. GG, well played. Again, a really, really wise move there out of Trap. Again, it just made a lot of sense. It was really smart. Once you get ahead like that, you just go for the kill, just because you know that Shin is going to be stuck droning. Shin, he's going to be stuck droning, he's going to be stuck recovering. Even if Shin decided to go for his own all-in, he just didn't have the economy. Because he had taken so many losses, he didn't have the economy to actually sustain an all-in anyway. So the other option, of course, would have been just like Trap, take gases, take a 4th base, throw down a robo, and transition into like Colossus and like a more robust army. There was no need for that. Trap just went for the kill, and Trap does take does tie things up. GG, well played. We do tie things up here. Now we're going to the ace match. Let's go. The ice. What a massacre. I think that was till the last game, but yes. Let's go, Trap. Glad he's finally back. Yeah. I mean, Trap, again, he's been back for around a month. He's been back for a month, and he's been getting some really good results. I mentioned before, he's taken down players like Byun a little bit more consistently. He's taken maps off of Dark, and now we're seeing him here against Shin. We also saw Trap against Protoss. He had a harder time against, I think it was PvP, Trap versus Hero, or Trap versus Classic. Did have a harder time there, but here he's holding his own. But now we're diving into the ace match, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of site Delta, we have our South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Gaimin Gladiators. He has been hot this week, and can he keep that run going? As he is this week's ESL Open Cup Asia champion, it is Shin. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing himself, currently teamless, but recently returning from the military. It is Trap. Oh, it's a trap. Here we go. But I do like Trap's adjustment here in game number 2. I do think that, I mean, clearly, as we've seen, you don't want to get down and dirty with Shin, because Shin, he likes it dirty, man. He likes it dirty. So game 1 for Trap to open things up with a 5-gate Glaive Adept, like aggression, borderline all in. I feel like you don't want to play to the strengths of Shin. Like Shin, he thrives in the chaos, you know, he thrives in the unorthodox of StarCraft. So calming things down, being a little bit more secure, and getting into a much more standard setup here from Trap did make a lot of sense, and he really picked Shin apart. It was insane. He killed, what was that, 24, 26 drones? Just purely from harass. And even more impressive than that was the fact that Trap kept every Oracle alive. It was crazy. It was disgusting. It was he just basically he killed Shin with his aggression there. I mean, the 8-gate all-in was a formality at that point. Regardless of what Trap did, it would have been enough to kill Shin. So really impressive harassment there from Trap in game number 2. Can he replicate that success though? What I will say is that now Shin is on notice. Now Shin is on notice. He's now a little bit more aware of what Trap is capable of, and I'm sure this time he's going to be cutting less. He's going to be cutting less defenses here and cutting less in general against Trap. What I mean by that is that Shin was staying on a low link count. Because of Shin's low link count in the previous game, it meant that the Adepts on the ground were getting a surprising amount of damage. Remember, it wasn't just the Oracle harass, it was also in conjunction with the Adept harass as well. And Shin, he was just cutting lings, he was droning for the most part, and he was punished so hard for it. I'm sure that this time he should be playing a little bit safer, and he shouldn't be cutting as many corners, but we'll see. We'll see, as here comes the first Adept. We do pylon block the linear third. We force the triangular third here for Shin. This will make it a little bit easier to harass, as we now have a kind of a triangular setup here of bases that we can bounce between with the oracles. So Trap will have that available to him. Second Adept on the way. First one still being active. Shin getting into his queens. The other things as well, of course, is throwing down spores. If I recall correctly, I believe between the 3 bases, Shin only had 1 spore. I don't think he got a second and third spore, and again, because of that, he was also abused. Also taken advantage of. As the Adepts say, shade into the main base. This time, Leagues, they do lock them down. 1 drone falls, but only 1. A much cleaner defense here. Still taking a loss, but Shin does minimize his losses. Meanwhile, the Oracle's moving on the right-hand side. It is spotted by the Overlord. Shin is aware. Shin responds with his queens and counterattacks with those lings. As Trap is getting his third base. Again, it's going to be a triple Oracle opener into a third. Standard build here by Trap. Threatens the third base, goes for the larva, but does get one. Good pickoff. Very nice pickoff as we do skirt in between the bases here. Spore is just barely going to finish. We get 1 drone, and only 1 this time. So far, so good. Shin has had a much better job defending this time. He's got a spore in his main, spore in his natural. He doesn't get a spore in his third base, but that is why Shin has 3 queens at the third, to defend it, to protect it, to make up for the lack of spore. Oh, and Trap. We are not going for a forge. My apologies. I did actually miss that Twilight Council. I saw the gateway earlier and I was a little bit perplexed. It's going to be a Glaive's follow-up. And we only made 2 oracles. So this time, oh, how do I feel about this? I mean, Trap is going to be going for a very aggressive follow-up here. We've been here before somewhat. This needs to get damage done. The Glaive Adept follow-up, I mean. As we're getting up to 4 gates. Now, the plus side here is that this build is hidden. This build is very hidden, but Shin does go for a safety Roach Warren. It was thrown down around the 4-minute 30 mark. Roach Warren's already done. No roaches yet, so there's no reason to make roaches, but we do have access. We do have access to those roaches. Lings, they do harass across the map. Seeing these 3 Adepts is not a tell. It's not a large enough number here to really tip off Shin. We do shut down 2 of them. And the Lings, they come in for a scout. They do get eyes on more Adepts, but we keep the rest hidden. Very good movement here at a Trap. Does keep them hidden. Shin still is not fully aware. We do have some roaches on the way, though. And he does spot it. He does spot the move out. Big scout here by Shin. And he's getting ready. Lings and roaches are amassing. Now, as a reminder, Trap, he is delaying his Forge and his upgrades in favor of this push. He's also delaying Blink in favor of this push as well. So a lot of his tech is being delayed for Glaive Adepts. We don't commit to the Shade. We threaten to dive here towards the natural. We do wall off. Ooh, just in time. We do get the full wall off. So far, good defense out of SHIN, and behind this, Spire. We delay Roach speed in favor of the Spire instead. Big move here by SHIN. How the turns are tabling. Initially, Trap was the one to react to and respond to. Now, we need to scout SHIN. Now, Trap does have oracles, but for the time being, he has no reason to scout. He is focusing here on clearing up creep, on being active, threatening these bases. Trap has the potential, the capability to scout, but again, for the time being, is focusing on his aggression. He has not dipped in between the bases to get a read on what's going on. Yeah, the Adepts are being forced back. We do have to retreat. Behind this, Trap getting a 4th base, working towards a 3rd Oracle. Interesting. And now we're going in. Now we're going in. This is a very important moment, a very crucial moment for Trap. He needs to scout that Spire. We threaten the mineral end of the 3rd. We get a couple of drones. Oh, a couple more in the main. Oh, 1 Oracle goes down. We zone him away, and we don't get into the main base. Ay, ay, ay. We did not get in. The mutas are on the way. We did not get behind the mineral line. We're going for the base, though. Oh my god, that's a kill on the hatchery. Good pickoff. Very nice pickoff here by Trap. But again, he did not scout the tech. Mutas are on the way, and we're not quite ready for this. So you can see that the natural base is exposed, the main base is exposed. We have soon-to-be Blink Stalkers, but soon-to-be. Because of the Glaive Adept opener, Blink is very late. It's just over halfway done, and that means we have that much less to defend against the mutas. So this has been a good response. Meanwhile, the mutas, they move out. They've been spotted. Big scout. Big scout here by Trap. He does move out with his ground army. We have Lings and Roaches to defend. We do catch an Overlord. We are pushing. At the same time, mutas, they get across the map. We do warp in. Yeah, plenty of Stalkers, but no Blink. We can ignore them. Yeah, we just run past the Stalkers. We head for the main base. Probes are going down. We did get the Oracle. So far, only 4 workers, but it looks like Trappy's forced back home. So good damage so far here by SHIN. He has lost 2 mutas for 4 workers, for 2 oracles, and for buying breathing room, for buying time. Ooh, we do overextend a little bit here, as we don't quite lose a muta yet. Oracles, they get across the map, they get 3 drones. Meanwhile, we got 6 probes did fall, and SHIN, he's amassing his ground army. He's going for the 4th. There is side defense, there are Stalkers. But a lot of the army here is out of position. A lot of the army is trying to keep up with the mutas. And we collapse on the 4th base. Yeah, Bar's going to be thrown down. They collapse here on the shield battery, on the cannon. Overcharge is popped. Overcharge is spent. Mutas, they try to come in from behind. They try to support the army. They're going for the oracles. And they will get them. Both oracles go down. We get into the mineral line as well. And shit, it looks like he is breaking this position. I say that we're running out of roaches. The Stalkers have arrived. Remember, Blink is done now. We have to get the hell out of here. We dive with the mutas. Bold move there by SHIN to go even further with those mutas. 12 probes full, but we save the base. We save the Nexus. SHIN has been droning up this entire time. Bear that in mind. He was droning. He's up to now 84 workers. But his ground army is lacking. Because he was droning, his army is not quite what it needs to be, and Trap has arrived. Mutas, they try to harass. Trap has Stalkers back at home. Trap moves in, and oh shit, he's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble. 2 Ravagers get focus fired, and we're going to get the others. Yeah, these Ravagers, they're caught out in the open. Big pickoffs here by Trap. Reinforcements are on the way. And can SHIN barely hold on again? He's bleeding out so much. Lings do arrive, but the mutas are being shut down as well, and Trap, he's overwhelming SHIN. Again, SHIN maybe did drone up too much. Droning up to 84 was maybe a little bit too greedy there. I say that. These Stalkers are getting very low, but here come the reinforcements. Yeah, reinforcements have arrived. The mutas go down. Trap, he can keep this going. So far, good blinks. Roaches are barely popping out. Shin, can he barely hold on? It looks like he can. It's close. It's very close here. Again, that soul count getting very low. But the roach count is even lower. Again, Shin moving out to inject. He's running out of larva. We need those injects. Roach is being forced back once again. Overlords are exposed. Injects are thrown down. We have 13 more roaches in production. Again, Trap, he's so close to just breaking Shin here and now. So close. And he's done it. He has broken him. Pushing into the natural. Going for the kill. This ramp is going to be brutal. It's such a brutal choke point here working against Shin. And Trap just has to be careful with how he does maneuver. Again, so important as well that Trap, he caught the Ravagers when he did. He got, what like 8 Ravagers for free? And that was huge as well. Potentially, if we were able to get them safely home, maybe we defend. Again, it was so close. We do force the recall. At the same time, Adepts are wreaking havoc at the 4th base. We once had 84 drones, but 12 workers go down. And we shade in towards the 3rd. Getting 1 more drone. But we defend. Shin, he does hold on. His economy has taken a big blow. Trap has the better economy, true. But Trap's tech is less than ideal. Trap was pretty committed. What do I mean by this? He has a gateway army. There's no Immortals, there's no Colossus, there's no Storm, there's no Disruptors, there's no Bay, there's nothing else here. Only a gateway army. The longer this goes on, the harder it's going to be for Trap. Oh, and Shin, he made it. He survived the counterattack. He survived the all-in, I would say, of Trap. And now Shin is breaking out. It was a good push there by Trap. It was very, I mean, he barely did not kill Shin. Did a lot of damage, but damage is not good enough. He had to kill, or he had to cripple. And here comes Shin. Now maxing out with Ling Bane Roach Ravager, collapsing here on these Stalkers. Overcharges pop, but it doesn't matter. We break the defense. We break the shield batteries. We have some Stalkers. We're blinking our hearts out. We do shave off some of those Ravagers. Good pickups, but we break the base nonetheless. Shin, he has done it. He has a counterattack broken through, survived the initial push. And the Nexus goes down. And we just don't have enough. We don't have enough to clean up this army. Shin consolidating his forces, does get eyes on the 5th, now the 4th base of Trap. You see Trap trying to go for his own counterattack. Shin does respond. Pulling back his army, taking this seriously, doesn't want to throw this away. Keeping up with Trap. And as he keeps his army busy going for a Ling run by, we do have some shield batteries and some cannons to defend. But this is quite a hefty army here that Shin is working with. And Trap just doesn't have the numbers, not anymore. He does come in for a big counterattack though. He gets 6, 7, 8 drones. Oh my god. Gets a lot of economic damage done. But it doesn't even matter. Not anymore. While they break through the force fields, we collapse here into the base. Overcharge gets popped. Overcharge gets shut down. And we're pushing up towards the 3rd. Oh, the Banelings, they connect with the sentries. Sentries are cleaned up. We take down the base. Trap is knocked down to a 3-base setup here. Less than a 3-base economy. As we're out of minerals in the main, we have a couple of patches left at the natural. Running out of minerals at the 3rd. It has been a back and forth throughout this game. I mean, again, Shin was at death's door earlier. But he is going to be able to end this base once again. Just perpetually containing Trap to 3 bases. Knocking down that 4th. Diving on the main army. Oh, the Miles! Ooh, they take down an Oracle. I just realized we did get up to 4 Oracles once again. Let's go. But they're running out of energy. Yeah, bars are raining down on the army. It looks like with these Blink Stalkers, we can maybe clean this up. We do clean this up, but at what cost? At the cost of 23 probes. Ay, ay, ay. The Roach Ravager is going to be going down. But Shin, he can somewhat sustain these losses. As I say that, he is actually investing into Hydras. A quite expensive transition here by Shin. Working towards Ling Hydra. Trap going for his own counterattack. Supplies looking actually very close. Trap lost a lot of probes, that is true, but he does have a good amount of Link Stalkers. What are our upgrades looking like? 2-2. Okay. Well, we do dive on the Hydras. Hydras, they're exposed, by the way. They're so fragile. Good target firing there by Trap. Oracles are going to be going down. Sentries have arrived, and Trap, does he bring it back once again? I thought that Shin had it breaking this base, but the base does survive. And going into Hydras at this moment was not the play. As we saw, the Hydras, they went down one after another. They're expensive as well. Far more so than Roach Ravager. Especially without a solid Ling count to buffer. And now we're pushing up into the main. We're going for the kill. The boys that have to be pulled. Shin, he's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble, Papi. Ay, ay, ay. We have a couple more roaches catching reinforcements, but the main army does kill everything at the natural. Again, Shin being a little bit too greedy. Taking up when he couldn't quite afford to. So I was a little bit surprised when I saw the Hydras in the production tab there. Hydras can do well for themselves, but they do need a lot of support. As we break the third base. Again, very back and forth game. It's been a roller coaster ride of emotions. At one time, you know, it looks like one player is going to win, then the other. It's been very back and forth. But Blink Stalkers, they have a lot of potential here. And again, these Hydras, they're going to melt. Yeah, they're all going to go down. We dive on top of the roaches as well. Just not enough support, not anymore. And I'm getting deja vu. We've been in this position here where it's so difficult to like push into that entrenched position. GG gets called. Trap, he brings it back, and he will take it 2-1, taking down Shin. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations here. A very back and forth game. At some points it looked like Trap was at death's door. At others it was Shin. That happened like 4 times. Very clutch game there, and in the end Trap did persevere. Very impressive there by Trap to be able to hold on to micro his heart out, especially with his Blink Stalkers. Was able to maintain himself, was taking a lot of losses, that is true, but was out trading Shin, and yeah, especially towards the end there with Shin trying to transition to a more high-tech army. He invested into Hydra upgrades. He was going into Ling Hydra. As I was trying to get into, Ling Hydra can do quite well, but you do need a good buffer for it, like a good amount of Lings or a good amount of Roaches, just because Hydras, they're so fragile and they're so vulnerable, and as you can see, like, it doesn't take much to bring them down, and so expensive as well. That was not the time for Shin. He thought he was maybe, I mean, I believe that he was further ahead than he was as well, to be fair. I thought that he would kill the Nexus, but the 4th base survived, and GG, well played. Very well done. Congratulations here to Trap as he brings Shin down. He does what Classic and Nightmare could not this week. GG, well played. I mean, it was a shorter series, but a beautiful series nonetheless. Did live up to expectations. And with that, we can take a moment here to have a look at the bracket.